Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Chase, episode 15. I'm your host, Chase. If you're a returning listener, thank you very much for joining me for another lovely episode. If you're a new listener, thank you very much for clicking on this very episode, sitting down, and listening to my nonsense. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe or follow button, depending on which platform you use to consume the show. The show is available on Spotify or YouTube. And make sure to click on the prompts on both platforms to be notified every time I upload a new episode. Oh, wait, you're telling me you already did that, so there was no need to remind you. Well, that was awkward, but thank you for being one step ahead of the game and one step ahead of me. And with that, let's get right into the show. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. As you can tell by the title of this episode, you can't really tell it's our Thanksgiving special, but since I'm uploading on Thanksgiving, that can be the second title of this episode. Thanksgiving is a time where we take time, sit back, relax, and watch some Detroit Lions football. Oh, that's just my Thanksgiving. While spending some time with my family and loved ones, of course. In all honesty, Thanksgiving is a wonderful time for all. This time of year gives us the chance to reflect, give thanks, enjoy time with family and loved ones, and just enjoy each other's company. I took some time to sit back on that statement, and I thought, not everyone's Thanksgiving and holidays are like that, or are the same, really. Some circumstances are different. Sometimes people spend the holidays alone, and I truly dislike when people are alone on the holidays. Because this time of year, we need to spend time with loved ones, family, and friends even. Social interaction is key to anyone. But during this time of COVID-19, isolation and social distancing, it's very difficult to see loved ones and spend time with them. That's why I wanted to upload on Thanksgiving, just so people don't have to spend it alone. And they can use this episode or podcast as a way to escape for maybe an hour at a time. I wanted to send everyone into the topic of the episode right away, but I wanted to give thanks first. I took some time before I went into work yesterday to really focus on what I wanted to say. Wanting to be very precise and clear, I went to my notes on my phone to type it out. So, without further ado, please bear with me. This is my second time recording this episode. While I read off this little note I wrote to you, the listener, just describing how truly thankful I've been over these past 4 incredible months. To be honest, I've always been thankful, really, to anyone that's ever stepped foot into my life. Grateful for friends, family, loved ones, co-workers. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Co-workers? Really? Besides that, I'm mostly grateful for this new lease on life. This new chance at being who I'm truly meant to be. Without worrying about what others think, what I think about myself, and worrying about things outside of my control. But to be honest, I'm mostly grateful that I have this outlet to let everything out. Things I've bottled up for years, finally being able to let loose, open up, and be me is something I never seen coming. And to close this monologue, I'm mostly grateful for you, the listener, sitting down, pressing play, and listening to my nonsense rambling has meant the absolute world to me. You have made my life better, my mental, emotional, and physical health better. Even along these past 4 months of doing this podcast, I never seen this coming. I hope to continue this show for as long as I can, growing, improving, and helping you as much as you've helped me along the way. And with that, I just want to say, I love you. Thank you. I hope everyone was able to make it through that sappy note. But call me old school. I love writing notes and letters. because I find it to be very simplistic. Because I find it to be a very simplistic way of getting all of your feelings out. And on top of that, it's a very sentimental way of telling the person you love that you love them. Let's get right into the meat of this episode. As you can tell by the title, this is a very serious topic. I wanted to put this disclaimer out there before I start, that I'm in no way, shape, or form a doctor of any sorts, or a psychologist. This episode is strictly based on my previous experiences and situations I've dealt with, and ways I've been able to deal with these situations. For those who are struggling, please contact a doctor or medical professional right away to receive help. We're going to be talking about panic attacks. Panic attacks are classified as a sudden episode of intense fear or anxiety and physical symptoms based on a perceived threat rather than imminent danger. I have a strong dislike for people that think, "Oh, that's not real," or "It's just in your head." And yes, to a point, they are correct. But to the person suffering, triggers have blown our stress level and anxiety level to the highest extent. To the person on the outside, they might not realize that. And they may just think, based on general lack of knowledge on the subject, that the person suffering may just be emotionally fragile or unstable, when that isn't the case. With this episode, I wanted to bring forward certain tips and tricks for ways to identify if a person is having a panic attack, or certain ways someone can help the person suffering from the panic attack. To start, I wanted to bring up ways you can identify a panic attack, or to help if someone is suffering from a panic attack. Here are some identifiers for a panic attack. Rapid, pounding heart rate, which can feel like a slow burn in someone's heart that slowly or rapidly builds to an overwhelming wildfire. Sweating, which I do a lot of. Trembling or shaking, brought on by the trigger. Shortness of breath or tightness in your throat, which on the outside can look like someone is trying to catch their breath but can't. Chills and hot flashes. This can lead to trembling or shaking, sometimes depending on whichever comes first. Panic attacks can be expected or unexpected. Unexpected attacks can occur from certain cues or triggers someone may have. For example, if someone is afraid of heights and this person is taken to a peak of a cliff, and the very thought of being up so high without even stepping foot on the edge can trigger a panic attack. And no, this example isn't about me, just an example that came to mind. Expected panic attacks can occur from an obvious cue or a trigger. For example, I'll give you a real life one that just happened to me the other day. 2 days ago, after a lovely phone call I was on, it was time to just unwind and relax after a long day. Sitting down, watching shows with my girlfriend, when all of a sudden, I hear the ding notification on my iPhone. I thought nothing of it, maybe just, oh, it's a fantasy football update, or something along those lines. But when I went to check my phone, that was far from the case. For those who listened to episode 11, Cutting Ties, you know I suffer from this looming figure that has never been in my life. Growing up with only one parent, I thought of this person. Growing up with only one parent, the thought of this person would bring forward anger, resentment, and frustration. After looking at the notification, I immediately thought, "Dear life." Oh God, but in all honesty, being able to laugh it off wasn't possible. Immediately shutting down, being quiet, and numerous triggers from the list I included previously, my girlfriend could immediately tell something was bothering me and knew exactly what to do. This is also why I wanted to include ways someone can help a person suffering from a panic attack. Because, as I included in this story, my girlfriend knew exactly what to do. It's okay to not fully understand what they're going through, but you can still help. Ask them what they are currently experiencing and listen to understand, not to reply. Display a sense of calmness through your tone of voice and body language. Ask them what they personally need to feel safe in a high moment of anxiety. Breathe with them. Remind them to breathe in through their nose and slowly through their mouth, out through their mouth. Help them rationalize the fears they're experiencing without adding judgment. Remind them they are safe. This is a panic attack and it will pass soon. Display patience and allow them to recover at their own pace. To those who are suffering, you are not alone. I hope with bringing forward my struggles with panic attacks can help in the slightest bit. Because for the longest time, I never thought these were real. But after experiencing 2 in the last 6 months, I realized these are very real and very consuming. And with today's day and age of COVID-19 and being so secluded in your thoughts, panic attacks can occur very rapidly and very rampantly. And with that, I just want to say I love you guys. I hope this episode helped. I will talk to you soon. And just remember, the coffee is always on and new friends are always welcome. Thank you very much for joining me for this very short, brief, but lovely podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye.